Hey guys, Mooduffer here. Today we're going to be refining some clay. I've just had this bag of clay just sitting around in a few buckets, so I figured I'd make like Grant Thompson and refine the clay into a more usable, cleaner, cleaner looking clay. So today we'll be using 2 buckets, 1 pitcher, and one of those meshes that has like the little circular mesh thing, and then a big old bag of clay. I just dug mine up. You can get yours wherever you can dig it up. We will be needing water for these 2 buckets, so to prevent splashing, I'm gonna get the clay first and put it into the first bucket right here. And this is the part we're going to use this bucket to start filling up the one with clay. Now y'all can stir this with whatever you want if you're doing this at home, but I'm just going to use a broken table piece because that's all I have at the moment. I have gloves. I should have done this when I was mixing the refractory material for my forge. This is so much easier. So the end goal is to get everything to an even consistency. It should be like very, very thick water. And you see that's tough. There's a lot of unreached places. So you really have to get gloves to go through the clay and break up all the little clumps. And this is what we've got. Now you can already see the process has started of water coming out of solution. We've got to have some of that water come out, and I'll put in clean water and we'll bring it through again. Hopefully this time it will be easier. I have over here all the equipment. I need to get all the sand off of this, all the bad clay out of this. I'll do that with the hose. The stick, I'll probably just throw that one away. So now comes the long waiting part of getting all this water out and then putting some new water in to filter it again. So we can see here that some water is coming out, but it's barely any. This is like, I've been gone for many hours and this is taking quite longer than I expected. So let's hope it doesn't take just absolutely forever. So with the clay refining, I forgot one critical step, and I think it's why the clay is still like muddy and brown. So there's been sand in the clay. And so what I've got to do is I've got to pour the clay. I've got to clean out this bucket, pour that clay into this bucket, leave the sand behind, clean out that bucket, and do that back and forth until finally I'll have sandless clay. After that, the next step is probably going to be extracting most of the water so it's more of a clay consistency, and then I'm going to be kneading in ashes and I think some crushed up broken ceramic if I can find it. The reason you do that is it actually is supposed to improve the clay and make it easier to fire. So now we're about at the final process of this clay refining. I have right here, this is some clay right here that I have in this towel wrapped up. This is so that it can dry more effectively. You can see that it's dripping water into this bucket here. And I have this other one as well because I ran out of space for this one. Now, I think ideally they should be both the same size, but that is a mistake I made. So this one will dry faster. I'll just have to be careful about that. I think both. You can That is definitely water. And that's just water. That's not any clay coming through. The towel traps it. This is, I think, the most effective way to do this. I saw it was Grant Thompson who did it. He had about this amount of clay that he was doing it with, and I have both of these that I am working with right here. Basically, that's going to be about it. So then, what do I plan to do with this clay? Well, with this clay, it's going to be challenging, but I'm going to see if I can make some D&D dice, like a D&D dice set. My blacksmithing forge right here, I have this and the torch as well. I'm going to see, is it actually possible for me to be able to fire this with my blacksmithing forge? My guess is going to be very, very slowly, because I'm going to have to let it dry, slowly heat up. I'm going to have to be very careful, because I have a feeling that my first attempts might break. Oh, and another thing I learned is that you apparently age clay and let it sit for a while. So that's going to be a little bit painstaking, because I'm going to have this clay and I'm going to be excited. What do I do with this clay? And then I can't do anything with it for a while. And here we go. This is some of the end product. Right here, I'm just keeping it stored. I might make something out of it. Now, I did leave it to dry out a little bit more while I was on vacation, but of course it dried out too much, so I had to rehydrate it. I had to, go through the process of draining water out again, and it's still a little bit too wet. I think I'm gonna try to let moisture out, just a small bit at a time. And since it was dry, there was a lot that was still stuck to the towels. I've got right here, this is just some residual clay that I am re-refining, trying to get it all together. You can see a little bit of wood chips in there and stuff. I got to get that out. Must have fell into the bucket while I was doing some some stuff, but otherwise that's about it. I'll definitely show when I make something out of clay. All in all, this video, it really shouldn't have taken as long as it took. This has been like several months now that I've just been recording over this long span. I could have done this clay and refined it like actually way sooner than I did, which I didn't realize at the time. So yeah, this was probably like a big waste of time, but it's been fun long-term project. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, goodbye.